Hey there viewers, it's Charlie. I'm back again with another Transformers review. And today, the review shall be on Classics Hot Rod. Or, well, this figure is actually called Rodimus because this was a time when Hasbro just couldn't get the trademark to Hot Rod, so they just needed Rodimus. How times have changed. But yeah, you're probably thinking two things. One, well, why do I have this version? Why do I not have the Studio Series Hot Rod? Well, the reason for that being, this was a free bonus figure with another recent figure that I bought, who I'll be reviewing tomorrow, so stay tuned. But the second thing being, why is the hood like different? Well, that's because this is actually from Reveal the Shield Rodimus. Yeah, most of this figure is the Classics figure, while the hood is for some reason the Reveal the Shield version. Yeah, I have no idea either. Was this like a factory error? Was this like something that the previous owner did? I'll never know. But it definitely does stand out. Because the red at the bottom is definitely much brighter than the red on the rest of the figure. And the flame hood is definitely different as well. But yeah. Having a look at the rest of the figure though, well, we can see that the back wheels are actually showing, because normally with hot rods, the turbines are actually covering the back wheels. Look at the back of the figure. There is a gap here, but that's because I am missing this figure's weapon. Because remember, this was a free figure that I got. I look at the top, we can see that we do have a nice detailed interior, which looks really good. Sadly, you can't really access it though. The underneath, which aside from this gap, doesn't have any robot junk underneath, which is pretty good. Oh, and here, well, we actually have a rub sign. It's different from the G1 and Beast Wars rub signs though, because this one actually just has the actual insignia out silhouette instead of the square thing, if you know what I mean. So this is different from the G1 rub symbols. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the beast mode. Not beast mode, sorry. The vehicle mode. God, I cannot speak today. But well, for comparison, here he is with some other Rodimus figures. First off, G1 Rodimus. Or well, Rodimus Prime. I know this isn't really a fair comparison because this is Rodimus Prime and this is supposed to be Hot Rod. But, well, you see the reds? The reds look pretty identical. So that's a nice touch. I mean, in the cartoon, Hot Rod and Rodimus had different colors, but Here we see that they both have the flame thing at the side. And even though this is not official, this figure does have an upgrade set that has the Rodimus trailer that can split apart into, well, stuff for robot mode. So he can be Rodimus Prime. It is not official. It's not official though, and it's quite an old upgrade set. But I still really want to get this so I can have another Rodimus Prime in my collection. If you want to know what it's called, it's the Fans Toys Protector Armor. And I am really wanting to get it soon. Like, it is old, as I said, but yeah, I don't care. Next up, here we have the Rodimus from Transformers Energon. And this is a 2-year gap, because Classics came out 2 years after Energon came out. So this is just a 2-year difference. Of course, this is again supposed to be Rodimus Prime, because if anything, the Hot Rod of the Unicorn Trilogy is actually Hot Shots. But still, the Reds are also pretty similar. And finally, even though this guy's not really Hot Rod or Rodimus, here we have Cybertron Excellion. Because this guy is a Hot Rod homage. I mean, the Reds. Well, I mean, the back bit of the vehicle, the red's pretty similar. But the red on the doors is a bit brighter. But they do have some more similarities. For example, the flame hood, detailed interiors, and even though this guy has a gimmick, he also has the familiar Hot Rod spoiler. If I can even find a cyber key, so excuse me. Alright, I couldn't find a cyber key, so I'm just going to use a little screwdriver head. But if you remember my review on Excellion, you could plop a cyber key in here, and now it's swap out these little spoiler wings, so it can be just like the original Hot Rod, albeit clear blue instead of yellow, or, well, in this guy's case, orange. Well, that's pretty much it for this guy in his vehicle mode, so let's get down to his transformation. So I'll just try and carefully raise my camera up. This guy's transformation is a bit fiddly though, so just be warned. Start by taking the back wheels and actually extending them out, like so. Take these bits and move them down, and these form the familiar Hot Rod shin pads. And tab this bit from the back bit of the vehicle and just lift that up for now. Come in here and push the feet out. Come in here and try and untab this, so these move down as his legs, like so. Come in here with the spoiler and actually turn that entire thing around and just move that up like so. Take the front of the car, pull these bits out, and just move this entire bit down, and then try and peg that into place. With the arms, move them down, and with the back bit, just like with a G1 figure, this entire bit just rotates around, just like the original G1 Hot Rod figure, which is a pretty nice homage. And then finally, come in here and fold out his hands. Now this one, the tab is worn out, so you need to use like a little thing to pry it out. So I'll just do that off camera. There we go. And well, here we have Rodimus in his robot modes. And well, yeah, this does look like Hot Rods, if not a bit stylized. Oh, that's the complaint. Thanks to age, the joint here has gone pretty loose. So, once again, we have another freaking crippled figure. Hasbro, learn to use ratchet joints more often. Those never wear out. But yeah, if you have the patience, you can get this guy standing. But while having a 360 of the figure, I'm not gonna lie, I do like the way the spoiler transforms, or the entire hood, because it spins around just like the original figure. And the way the spoiler works is also unique. Now, having a look at the head sculpt, well, if my phone will focus, my phone will even focus as I'm trying to say before my tongue commits suicide on me. Well, if anything, it looks more like Rodimus Prime's head sculpt than Hot Rod's, in my opinion. I don't know why, I just think that. But, well, for the figure's articulation, the head can of course turn around. Arms can move. He does have elbows, thanks to the... Well, he does have elbows. I think rather big... Well, he's got big forearms. Technically, the wrists can move in. Waist, of course, nothing. The legs can move, although it's quite loose. Oh. You can't really T-pose because the ball joints just pop off, and it does it quite a lot if you try to move the guy around, so you can't really T-pose that much. But as for the splits, you can do that pretty well if you get the arms out the way. So you can't do the splits. These bits can move out to accommodate for some leg articulation. And his feet can move. So yeah, even though it's quite posable, thanks to the looseness of the figure, it's probably better to just display him in a standing position. Oh, something I forgot to show is, on the left arm, there is something that you can try to flip out if you can. Which, of course, the figure's on camera, so it's not even gonna show us. So, excuse me again. There we go. It looks to be that cutter thing that he used in the movie, although it's rather small. So, yeah. Now, for comparison, here he is with G1 Rodimus. And as you can see, the G1 Rodimus is much taller. I mean, as I said earlier, this is supposed to be Rodimus Prime, and this is supposed to be Hot Rod. But, yeah, still. Next up, here we have Transformers Energon Rodimus. And this, of course, this is also a stylized version of Rodimus Prime. But yeah, the heads are pretty similar, because they both have the yellow, I guess, horns in their head. So yeah, the heads are pretty similar. And finally, here we have Excellion, who is also taller. So yeah, well, Excellion was a pretty good Hot Rod homage in vehicle mode, not so much in robot mode, because the colors are quite different. I mean, the head's different, the color of the wings are different. So this guy's more of a Hot Rod homage in vehicle mode. But yeah. This is pretty much it for my review on Classics Hot Rod or Rodimus. So, do I recommend this guy? Well, I mean, just listen to my complaints first and you'll know. 1, the transformation is quite fiddly. I mean, especially with this hand. Of course, that's just due to age and wear, but still. There are some other, some other fiddly bits. For example, trying to get the spoiler transform because they can come off quite easily. Another fiddly bit is the wheels. Because, well, it is easy to push them back in if you don't have the gun in. Trying to pull them out can be a little bit fiddly to do without untabbing the leg from the bit that holds the spoiler. And another complaint, well, I just think that this guy gets too loose with age, because look. Yeah, these legs have definitely not aged well. And my third one, this guy's pretty much outdated. I mean, come on. There's much better Hot Rod figures out there nowadays. I mean, come on, we got Titan's Return, Power of the Primes, Studio Series. The only way to... If anything, I would only recommend this guy if you're either a collector of the Classics line, or if you're a Hot Rod / Rodimus Prime collector. So yeah, I don't really recommend this version of Rodimus. If you want a posable version of Hot Rod, go for any of the modern figures, whether it's Titan Return, Power of the Primes, or Studio Series. Just, well, only get this guy if you collect Hot Rod figures or if you collect the Classics line. But well, that's been my review on Classics Rodimus. And this is Charlie Young, signing off.